Hello everyone, welcome to Best Recipes with Sharon. Today's recipe is my attempt at trying to make Scottish style oatcakes, and a special thanks goes out to Lisa for inspiring me to try to make these. Apparently these are well liked in the Nova Scotia area. You can eat them plain, or coated or drizzled with chocolate, or like a bit of granola style bits and bites. They're a healthy snack to have on hand, full of fiber and easily digested. So without further ado, let's get right to the recipe. So we'll start with 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. And we'll place that in the blender and pulse and grind it until it's turned into a coarse flour. Pour the oat flour into a large mixing bowl. Then add 1 cup of all-purpose flour and half a teaspoon of salt. Then half a cup of canola oil. Add 1/4 cup of cane sugar and 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. Mix that all together. Then dissolve 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda in 2 tablespoons of hot water. Add that to the mixing bowl. Continue mixing until the mixture forms a soft dough. And if it doesn't hold together well enough, add just a little bit more water, maybe a teaspoon or so. Next, add 2 tablespoons of flax seed. And mix until the flax seed is evenly combined in the dough. Then dump the mixture out onto a sheet of parchment paper and roll it out with another sheet of parchment paper on top. Roll it until your dough is about 1/4 inch thick. Then remove the parchment paper that is on top. Use a sharp knife and trim the edges to make it more rectangular shape. Use a clean ruler to measure and cut the size of squares that you would like your oatcakes to be. So roughly 2 or 3 inch squares. Then take the parchment paper and slide the whole thing onto a cookie sheet. Then bake them in a 400-degree oven that's been preheated. And set your timer for about 12 minutes. That's how long it took mine to bake. You just want them lightly golden. So I placed them on the middle rack and wait for them to be done. And here they are. They turned out lightly golden, just the way that they should be. I just take the edge pieces and break them up into a bowl and use them for snacking on as little bits and bites, as I call it. But the actual oatcakes turned out into pretty well perfect squares because we used the ruler to make sure we had a nice straight edge. We did that before we baked them, but after they're baked, you sometimes have to go over it with a sharp knife. And as you can see, the bottom is not too deeply browned, it's just lightly golden. They'll be a little bit crisp and crunchy, and a slight bit chewy at the same time. And I have to admit, they're a wee bit addictive. Once you eat one, you want another one, and you just keep going. But the fun of this is they're healthy, and you shouldn't have to feel too guilty for eating them. But if you want to add a little bit more to it, and it makes it a little bit more flavorful, you can melt some Belgian chocolate, and whether it's milk chocolate or dark chocolate, that's your preference, and drizzle some over the top back and forth like this. Or you can dip it into chocolate, dip half of it or the whole thing, whatever suits your fancy. And even though I generally prefer milk chocolate, I actually like the dark chocolate on these ones. And no matter which way you like them, they're the perfect snack. Thanks so much for watching Best Recipes with Sharon, and until next time, happy eating!